first thing I want to start with, and this is going to be kind of giving the structure to the podcast. We're going to be discussing we're going to be discussing women in general. We're going to be discussing masculine women and feminine women, and then we're going to get into the topic for today's podcast. So, oh, give me a second. Give me a second. Like I said, if you guys have any questions regarding femininity, make sure you go and leave in the chat as well. All right. So I'll go ahead and I'll let you name some of the feminine qualities. What are some super feminine qualities that you see within women, whether that's within yourself or whether that's within other women that you've observed? What are the feminine qualities that you associate femininity with?
A feminine woman is someone who's submissive, she's caring, she's affectionate, she's
Okay.
very emotional. She doesn't sleep around, she doesn't have a lot of male partners.
Okay.
And she'd rather pursue a family and a marriage instead of a career.
Okay. That's very good. That's very good. I would 100% agree with that. I'll 100% agree with that for sure. And then we'll get into the masculine qualities. I'll go ahead and describe those. This is something that I've seen time and time again within women that I have interacted with, whether it's dating or whether it's just having casual conversations with. And this is exactly what men do not want. So the last qualities that she had mentioned are exactly what men want. Most men want in a relationship or just in an interaction in general. So the masculine qualities that men are trying to avoid, this is going to be the women who are argumentative, that are overly dominant or aggressive, that are ultra independent. And when I say ultra independent, I mean where they literally attach it to their identity. It is one of the silliest things that I think I've ever seen when interacting with a woman because like I said, it's just doing what you need to do as just a person in general. But to attach it to your identity, I think is just very very goofy. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if you've seen it where they're like, "Oh, I'm independent." Like it's like
Yes.
they just talk a certain way. That's just what it is. What do you think about those women as far as like the ones who like claim their identity with or they resonate with independence?
I told you this the other day. I feel like they only say they're independent because they're trying to prove to themselves that they are, because they know they need help from a man.
Okay, okay, okay. All right, so getting back into it. So like I said, ultra independent, and they feel weak if they have to rely on a man, which is also an it's an interesting as well, man. Along with this, you're gonna see a competitive nature within women as well, and I feel like there is a competitive element of femininity. That's what I will say as well. But it's just a different type of competitive nature. It's going to be competing against men, which men and women are not meant to compete. And the fact that women are even trying to compete with men in the first place is, like I had mentioned, very goofy in my opinion, for sure. So getting into the other points that are going to be defining masculine women. This is going to be neglecting self care so they can become successful. This, like I said, this is going to be more career oriented women, and yeah, like she had mentioned. And then getting into that, they're going to be on the pursuit of men and also pursuing multiple men without getting emotionally attached during sex. That's going to be another element of a woman that truly is masculine, is a woman who can go ahead and sleep around and is able to detach emotions from sex, which I do believe is an essential part of what creates a quality woman. No woman or no man wants to marry a woman who's not attached, who doesn't get attached during sex. No, 'cause here's the thing: if she's able to detach emotions from sex, then she can have unlimited amount of partners at that point, right? And obviously that's not conducive to a relationship, a long-term relationship, especially a marriage as well. But getting into it, I want to ask you a few questions because I do believe to getting your take. By the way, I want to give you guys some background, right? I met Jaden. Was
October.
October of last year, and I out of any woman that I've ever talked to, she is by far the most feminine woman that I've ever met, and it's been absolutely fantastic with that. And like I said, just feminine women in general. All men like to be around feminine women. It's just more of like a nurturing and caring feeling, whether it's in a relationship or whether it's not. It's very very it's very delightful. I'll say that, to say the very least, right? But like I said, if you guys have any questions regarding anything that we're talking about, make sure you go and leave them in the comments. If we're gonna get into the topic, just give me 1 second. Like also, if you're in the chat, make sure you go and let me know, whether it's in the Twitch chat or in the YouTube chat. Make sure you go and tap in. Appreciate it. So getting into it, I want to say this first thing before I actually get into the actual topic. This is something that I've observed, and I want to know your take on this as well. Right. The first point I want to mention is this: femininity can only be fully embraced in the presence of a masculine man who's well structured. What do you think about that? When I say that, what comes to your mind?
That is true. Because it's very easy for,
Okay.
if a man's not fully masculine, then the feminine energy from a woman's not going to feel safe enough to fully come out.
Okay. Okay. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Um, so I feel like there's like it's kind of two parts as well, right? And the reason why women struggle with being feminine and Dubs, I appreciate it, KJ, appreciate it, man. Two of the reasons why I think women struggle with being feminine is one, they can't find a quality masculine man truly, and they truly are they feel socially outcasted if they are feeling or if they are feminine. This is something that I've seen. I don't know if you've particularly seen that where I feel like it's cool to women right now to be masculine. What do you think about that?
That could, a lot of feminine women aren't praised, like you said.
You don't think they're praised?
No.
Why do you think they're not praised?
I think feminine energy is more an internal thing, so it's kind of harder to see how valuable it is.
Okay.
So no woman's going to want to act away if they're not getting any attention or praise from it.
Okay. Okay. All right. I have a question for you, and I feel like a lot of people, especially a lot of women that watch this, will ask this question. And coming from you, I think your answer is going to be very, very sound. So the question that I have for you is, what is some practical advice that you'd give to a woman who's seeking to try to be more feminine? So let's just say it's coming from a woman who's maybe a little bit more naturally masculine. When it comes to those type of women, and hopefully, if you're watching this and you're a masculine woman, hopefully you're trying to seek to become more feminine. But for those women in specific, what is some practical advice that you can give them so they can try to maybe tap back into their feminine energy?
Most masculine women are masculine because of past experiences.
Okay.
So probably the most important thing to do is take time to heal and understand that not all men are going to hurt you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you definitely got to be wary though. I've talked to a lot of women where they said that, especially about femininity, this is a topic that I discuss very, very thoroughly with whether it's even friends, whether it's family. I love just discussing that topic in general, and yeah, unfortunately, they're not able to truly embrace that because of the past traumas that they've had that you mentioned, right? They haven't healed from truly, and how would you go? How would you even go about healing to the point where you can be feminine again? Is this just like accepting the fact that there's obviously a lack of quality men, or is there what do you think with that specifically?
Probably understanding that when you are hurt, it doesn't really have anything to do with yourself. A man only treats women bad because he has issues with himself in some way.
Hmm.
And the more you heal and become higher quality, the more higher quality men you'll be able to attract.
I would definitely agree with that. I would definitely agree with that for sure. Yeah, like you said, if you want quality, you must be quality. That's for sure. That's for sure. All right. Like I said, if you guys have any specific comments regarding today's topic, I know you guys probably have some questions regarding this, right? Especially like I said, if you're a woman watching this, man, you better be in the comments. You better be in the comments asking questions because it's scarce right now. Femininity is so scarce right now, unfortunately. But I know we've kind of already answered this, but I want to see if you can come up with maybe a little bit more of an answer to this specific question. Why do you think most people or most women struggle with being feminine nowadays? I know we kind of already touched that topic, but besides the fact that them not having a man or them needing to heal, do you think there's any other element that we haven't yet mentioned?
They're too focused on competing with men and trying to prove that they can either be better or that they can do what a man can do. So they kind of lose focus on what's important about being a woman.
Interesting. What's important about being a woman? Now, you saying that would be very, very controversial today. What do you think about that? A lot of the takes that you have, which I'll read off one of her takes that she recently had. They could be viewed as very, very controversial. But what do you say to those women that kind of will maybe bash a woman that has those point of views?
Can you ask that again?
Okay, so to the women who would like let's just say you had this take, right?
Hmm.
There's going to be a lot of women who would disagree with you and who would be combative and argumentative about it, right? That would disagree. Do you think they have like anything that they lack? Like, do they have like a lack of understanding of femininity, or maybe they don't? Maybe they're right. What do you think about that?
I feel like a lot of women who even compete with men, they just, and for some reason, I mean, in some ways I understand, but they just feel like women are put at a lower level than men these days.
So you think it's a do you think that's like an actual reality, or you think that's just like a conceptualized thought?
Nowadays, I don't think women are really lower than men. Maybe back then, yes, because we didn't have the rights we do now.
Okay, so you would say it's just it's a thought. It's not an actual reality.
Yeah.
Interesting, interesting.